Pharmacist Ben,
I'm here.
how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How was your day today?
It was exciting, interesting.
Well, we gotta love exciting and interesting. That
Yeah,
is why we get up in the morning to be excited and
exciting
interested.
and interesting. Absolutely.
Well, Pharmacist Ben, I don't know if you had a chance to look at our topic.
Yeah,
Uh,
I kind of did. You should clue me in on these topics. What's the big secret here? Or how do you come up with them? I should say.
well, this one it relates to an article, and a kind of we kind of promised that we wouldn't beat up on Ozempic. Um, but your girl Oprah is doing a special, or has done
My
a special.
girl. She's my girl. How did you know that?
Yeah,
She's my
your people's Oprah has done a is doing a special regarding Ozempic. Hey, Bruce, how are you? Doing a special regarding Ozempic and how we shouldn't be shaming people for
true.
the
I
use
believe it.
of or their situations, and she said that it is a disease that it lives up here. And I kind of think it's a disease that lives within a triangle.
What
And
what part is the disease? Weight, obesity. What's a disease?
the obesity issue is a
Yeah,
disease that
obesity.
lives up here as opposed to lives in the metabolism.
Explain what you mean by that. You're saying it's not a metabolic issue; it's a mental issue.
No, that's what Oprah said. She's
Oh,
saying it's a mental issue,
and
not.
well, it might be partially a mental issue, but it's not totally a mental issue. Does she say it's totally a mental issue?
She didn't say she didn't go into detail, or at least I didn't see in the detail in the brief clip that I saw. But I kind of want to go into it. Would you like me to share the article,
Yes,
the source
please.
material
I'm
first?
absolutely.
So there is two parts. The first part deals with fat propaganda roundup, record high Ozempic use, and the urban heifer scale.
Urban
Uh,
heifer scale, did you say?
you know what? Listen, their choice of wording on Zero Hedge. I was telling Keely before the show, I'm not really thrilled with how they describe people. Um, they're talking about an urban heifer scale because the people are using a certain scale that was designed for cattle. So if I scroll down real quick, you can see this cattle scale is what these people are getting on here in this video, which we will not show. However, the article is talking about the USDA, the United Salad Dodgers of America, and their obstinate bovine-like refusal, even as their internal organs rage in mutiny to eat responsibly, or at least to park in the back of Walmart parking lot just to get a few steps in on their way to the feeding trough, have fully bought into the pharmaceutical free lunch pledge, as it were, having, according to polling, quadrupled their Ozempic use in just 2 short years since 2024.
Well, look, by the way, there's GLP-3s now. That's the
No,
first gen. Have you heard of
wait,
these?
no way.
Yeah, there's GLP. They got these different ones. First of all, GLP, do you ever wonder what GLP is?
Yeah, you can probably pronounce it much better than I, but please.
No, you tell me. I want to know what your layperson's take is.
What does it do?
No, what is GLP exactly?
Stand
Not what
for?
does it do, but yeah, we'll talk about what it does in a second. But I just want to know, as a layperson, what is the common thing? What do you think? What do you think it is?
It is something lactone, and I'm thinking that's
No, it's not a
phosphate.
lactone, but I
Okay.
mean, not necessarily the name of it.
Uh-huh.
What is the whole point of GLP-1? What
So,
is
so
what is it exactly? The
GLP
chemistry
one
of it? In your opinion, I know you're not a chemist, but I just want to
I'm
know what a layperson.
gathering it's some sort of hormone that's going to tell the body that it's full. It's
Yeah. It
signaling to the body that it's full.
basically it slows down your digestion, reduces your your appetite or drive for food, and it has a controls blood sugar. It's GLP-1 stands for glucagon like peptide, GLP. And in the body, in chemistry, when something is similar to something else, they call it like. Glucagon is a major chemical, major hormone. It's involved with blood sugar control. This is a peptide that's like glucagon. Like there's another molecule called insulin-like growth factor or insulin-like peptide. So glucagon-like means it's similar to glucagon. Glucagon is associated with blood sugar control. So this is a peptide in the body, naturally made in the body. It's a natural peptide that is that tells your pancreas to control your blood sugar, basically. And when people have lost blood sugar control, they're eating all the time, taking an artificial, what we call GLP-1 is really GLP-1 agonists, right? Have you heard that term agonist?
Yes.
A GLP-1 agonist is something that is similar to GLP-1. It's artificial. It's an agonist. It's actually a receptor agonist is the technical term, RA. It duplicates what GLP-1 does at the receptor level, at the cell receptor level. It's a mimic. It's a knockoff of something your body makes. So the point being, your body's making it anyway. So let's support your body making it. How do you support your body making it, do you think? Guess.
I would
Just take a
fast.
wild guess because we
I
talk
would,
about it all the time, but just a little like using your sixth sense based on what we always talk about.
okay. Did you hear me say the word fast?
Fasting is a great way, but generally speaking, point two on the triangle of disease. You work on point two of the triangle of disease. That's it. And if you want to take substances, you can do sweeties. You could do the GLP-1 support pack that Longevity has, which includes the sweeties as well as selenium, Fucoid Z. Anything you could do to support blood sugar control will act like GLP-1 receptor agonists, like Wegovy or Ozempic or whatever they have. Anything. Now, it's a little bit easier said than done in the sense that as we get older and as the impact of hormonal changes kick in and the way we live our lives, our food choices, etc., um, it's a little easier said than done, unfortunately. And so there is places for that's why people get they get benefits from, and they're like all over the GLP-1 drugs. And you want to buy some stock, buy it in Lilly. They've got a new GLP-3 coming out, from what I hear. I don't know. No, I don't know specifically. That's just what I've been told.
Okay.
So,
But
you know what I'm
but
saying?
but there's clearly if people are rapidly losing this weight on these
That's a
GLP,
problem.
if
That is definitely a problem.
they're rapidly losing the weight, clearly there's a mechanism in the drug which is much stronger than natural alternatives that you're mentioning, and we
Yeah.
want the instant gratification. So, I mean, will we take 10 sweeties? I mean,
No,
what
no, it doesn't work that way. You just said fast, calorie restriction, um, use blood sugar control strategies like sweeties, like Fucoid Z, and people should not sleep on the Fucoid Z, by the way, for blood sugar. We talk about sweeties, of course, all the time, and I don't even think Fucoid Z is part of the blood sugar pack, is it?
no, it's not.
Yeah, it's
No way.
not. It could. It's really really effective for blood sugar control. Fucoid Z. And if for somebody out there who wants, they want more than just the healthy blood sugar pack, that's a good choice. I think Ultimate Niacin might be in there. Is it?
No.
That's no.
Blood sugar pack is the start pack with sweeties.
Um, blood sugar pack with sweet. Okay, gotcha.
So it's a start pack with added sweeties to it.
The blood sugar pack. Oh, that's the GLP. What did you say it was called?
No,
What's the name?
so the standard healthy body blood sugar pack is a healthy body start pack with a sweeties added to it.
Oh, okay. Well, there's other products too. Ultimate Selenium is good for blood sugar. Fucoid Z is important for blood sugar. I'll tell you what, the more I've always been a fan of fucoid C. I've been talking about it for years, but the more I dive into it, that's just crazy. That's the best non-essential nutrient supplement we have, I think. It's really amazing stuff.
The I just want to just talk about the longevity GLP product, and I'd like you to opine a little bit more about uh, what people should do for themselves, eating wise. I mean, because I hate to replace a drug with a supplement. I mean, obviously, sometimes it's necessary. Our GLP system, GLP, the 30-day GLP-1 support system is fantastically crafted. And it is a response, however, to the craze.
Yeah.
And
But they call it a support, GLP-1 support. So what it will do is it will support your GLP-1, like we just talked about. But B, and this is always really interesting with nutrition, is it will help your GLP-1 agonist, Wegovy or Ozempic, work better. You follow what I'm saying?
mhm.
And that's one of the, I know we said it before, but it bears repeating. That question that we all get, I'm sure you've heard a million times, will it interfere with my drugs? Will that supplement interfere with my drugs? Yes, it will interfere with your drugs. Absolutely. And Longevity's GLP, what's it called? GLP-1 support pack?
Yes, it is
GLP,
called.
that's the technical name, is the GLP-1 support pack, right? Or
Yes, GLP
activator bundle, they call it.
30-day GLP-1 support system.
Support system. Okay. So the GLP-1 support system will help your Wegovy work better. So that for the people who, you're just saying, do you want to take a whole bunch more Wegovy because of my girl, Oprah? Get yourself on the activator bundle or the support system. It's the equivalent. It'll help your drugs work better. Nutrients help your drugs work better. Nutrients help your drugs work better.
She had to leave Weight Watchers because she had to admit that she was taking Ozempic.
Who is this?
Oprah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
She got kicked out of Weight Watchers?
Well, she didn't get kicked out. She had to resign from Weight Watchers because she's using she's using
She's
uh,
using. She's using.
well yes, he's a user.
She's a user.
But
Hey, did you do something with the screen? It's really tiny. Is that on my end? I bet it's on my end.
that's pretty much as big as we can get in this format. Okay, well now I think you're modifying it so it can be
Yeah,
a
I
little
tried to
larger.
modify it to make it, but it's really small. It's like, where are you? Now you're gone.
Okay, so
Yes, sir. Questions.
so just a second piece
Hey,
of
before you get going, what's going on with Pharmacist Ben's Academy? What's new over there?
we had a fantastic meeting yesterday
On
at
heart disease.
at Pharmacist Ben's Academy. And you know what? I think your structured lectures go over extremely well. I think people really, um, as opposed to the more extemporaneous thing way
Oh, the
we,
structured ones
yeah, I think that really
with
goes
the
over well
PowerPoint that I
with the
do.
PowerPoint and the fact that it's intimate and private and people can
Yeah,
feel comfortable in asking their questions, and the fact that you go in and actually answer the post questions that people make,
yeah.
in your downtime or when you have a free moment, you're very active in there. In
Heck
fact, I
yeah.
think you may be more active than any of the users.
Oh, I'm sure I am. I want to be. This is my opportunity to share. I have a lot to share. I mean, that's why I do these shows, because I have a lot to say. And this is an opportunity just to write. I like to write, and I keep reading these articles that are really interesting and I want to just talk about. In fact, one of these days, tell me what you think of this, and I'll ask everybody in Zoom. I got papers like this. I got thousands of them. I got them on hard copy and I got them on my drive. Thousands, probably, I don't even know, 20,000 articles, research articles that are oh, there you go. That's better. Fascinating. This one is on the science of bioenergetics and bioelectrical technologies, cellular mechanisms. Now, that's a bit heady. I'm not going to like not going to do that. But I will talk about how the cells are electrical and they have wires, biological wires. You and I talked, I think we talked about this last couple of weeks ago, right? They have like molecules that act like switches, electrical switches, but they're molecule sized. You know how big a molecule is? Let me tell you how big a molecule is. Here, in this glass that I have right here, if I halfway filled it with water, there would be more molecules of H2O in this half glass than there are stars in the universe.
Ooh.
That's how small a molecule is. And we're talking about switches, transistors that are molecules in a cell. The cell is not biological primarily, it's electrical. The body in general is electrical, but the cell is a highly structured, tightly architected, regulated at the quantum scale electrical system that is billions, trillions, quadrillions of times, quintillions of times smaller than a computer chip.
We
But
talked
just
about
as
there being transistors
in
and
the, it's molecules though, they're molecular transistors. And a molecule is so small, this is the size we're talking about. And so this system is so easily perturbed. When they do make chips at Intel, they wear hazmat suits so they don't get a piece of breath or a piece of hair or a piece of dust on a chip because it'll destroy it. A cell is orders of magnitude more complex and more sensitive. So this system is easily perturbed. It's a miracle that we're as healthy as we are, but we have redundancy. You follow me? We have immense redundancy. You have 100 trillion of these cells. Do you know the voltage across a cell? There's electrical energy, right? Voltage is like multiple bolts of lightning, like compared to the size, right? Because you're talking about an invisibly microscopic, nanoscopic thing, right? And the voltage, if you scale it out, is like lightning bolts. Come on, AJ. You can't give me that kind of like look. You got to be like, what? And it's amazing. Lightning bolts in the body.
You're not reading what's on the bottom of the screen there.
What's on the bottom of the screen? I don't see. Ben, take us to church. Are you writing that? Who wrote that? You wrote that? It is church. It is church. This is how God manifests. This is how the Holy Spirit manifests. And I say Holy Spirit and God, they're kind of loaded terms. But what I mean is this magical, invisible force thing that you can't really put into words. So you say the Holy Spirit, or the divine force or whatever. You come up with these words to describe it, but it doesn't say it. It doesn't describe it. You have to feel it. You got to really, do you feel it? Come on. When I took Biochemistry 101.
Spirit in the sky, my friend.
Spirit in the sky. When I took Biochem 101, my God, I remember just being just this sense of the numinous just coming over me, just to think that there's all of this stuff happening in us, like shape-shifting. Chemistry is shape-shifting. It's chemical A, chemical B, chemical C, chemical D, or molecule A, molecule B, molecule C, D, E, F, G, H, I, endlessly at speeds that are incomprehensible. Zillions of times a second. Zillions with a Z times a second. So yes, I'm taking you to church. This is holy. You bet. Any scientist worth his salt is going to be religious, in my opinion, or spiritual, let's say. Why? I'm losing you. You're muted. I want to hear what you have to say.
I'm going to go into several comments and questions.
I want to talk about something really quickly. I had a guy talk to me today. And he's the guy who's heard me talk about nutrition for years, 15, probably 12 years, 13 years. He's involved with the radio show that I do. And he
Dave?
asked me today, he said his sister,
Dave?
I can't tell you who,
Okay.
because it's personal. His sister, he called me up. He says, I need some help. My sister was just diagnosed with myasthenia gravis. What do
Ah.
I do? And this guy, he's heard me talk. And that, you know how sometimes I feel embarrassed about repeating myself? It's when this happens that I think I have to repeat myself, because he's heard me over and over again, but he still asks me, what do I do? My sister has myasthenia gravis. So first of all, the first thing I thought of is what is myasthenia, is the name myasthenia gravis, which always, it's one of the worst things that can happen to you. But the name always I find ironic or interesting. What is myasthenia gravis? It sounds terrible, doesn't it? And when you hear it, it's like this gobbledygook term, right? Myasthenia gravis. Some people can't even pronounce it. This guy couldn't pronounce it even.
Well, gravis means heavy or
Serious,
serious.
serious.
Yeah.
And what is myasthenia? What is
Maya.
myo? What is myo? Myo. Muscle.
Ah.
Myo means muscle.
Uh-huh.
Asthenia. What is asthenia?
Uh,
Weakness. Weakness.
weakness in the
So
muscle.
he's been diagnosed with serious muscle weakness. Are you kidding me? That's a diagnosis? Serious muscle weakness? That's like you go to the doctor and you say, man, I am so weak. My muscles are seriously weak. And he goes, oh, you have serious muscle weakness. Yes, it's very serious muscle weakness. Yeah, that's what it is. It's so ludicrous.
Mhm.
It's so absurd to me that we do this.
Well, I think the first hurdle is that person isn't able
No,
to decipher
they can't
what the
decipher it. So this
terminology.
poor woman thinks she has, oh my God, I've got myasthenia gravis. No, you don't. You have seriously weak muscles because you're seriously sick, because you're seriously starved, you're seriously suffocated, you're seriously toxic, your blood is seriously clogged. It's the same thing. And this, I'm telling you, AJ, I'm going to keep repeating this till the day I die. It's the same thing. We're complicating this because of our lack of trust in ourselves, our lack of confidence in ourselves about our bodies. We don't think we're smart enough. So this poor woman, she's just has serious muscle weakness, and she's in the hospital. And you think that what are they going to do to her? What can a doctor do for myasthenia gravis? Serious muscle weakness. Can he make the muscle stronger? Is there anything in the medical model bag of tricks that can make the muscle strong? No. They give you immune suppressants because it's an autoimmune disease.
And I was
So
thinking
what
they might give you some steroids. I was
they give you
thinking.
steroids or fancy biologics now,
Mhm.
fancy steroids, high tech steroids. So, all autoimmune diseases are the same thing. What's an autoimmune disease? And again, I've been saying this for years, but when you think about it, it's just perfectly common sense. But for some reason, it just doesn't land. The body's immune system attacks enemies. That's what it does. The medical model wants us to believe that it's stupid and it makes a mistake.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Mhm.
No reason. It just does it. Does that make sense to anybody? How does that even begin to? Is that an ounce of logic there? It just
It
happens.
it it doesn't make sense if you have the appreciation and love for this divinely
Yes.
created vehicle
Yes.
that you do.
Yes. Well,
When
not that's,
you
that's true.
don't
The love I
have
have.
when you don't have that appreciation and you don't have a respect and you think that it's just a random thing
But here's the
that
thing,
that
AJ.
we're doing.
When you get diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, how do they? What's the first thing they look at to make the diagnosis? The blood. They look to the blood to find the immune activators because they
Hmm.
travel in the blood. They call them circulating immune complexes.
Right. Okay.
They're immune factors. And so they're telling you it's in the blood.
Wait a second. So so the woman comes in with muscle weakness,
Yes, serious muscle weakness.
and then they check her blood,
Yes.
and then say, how do they then get to Myasthenia
They
gravis.
look for antibodies to muscles or to whatever tissue it is. They look for, in the immune complexes, they look for immune molecules, they call them antibodies, to the specific tissue. If it's the joints, they look for, if it's rheumatoid arthritis, they look for antibodies to the joints. If it's the muscles, they look for antibodies to the muscles.
Mm.
If it's the pancreas, type 1 diabetes, they look for antibodies to the pancreas. It's a blood marker. A CIC is a blood marker. They call them markers, diagnostic markers. Cholesterol is a marker. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand clearly what you're saying,
So it
but I have
turns
a
out that
problem with what you said.
myasthenia gravis attacks a part of the muscle that involves the acetylcholine receptor. Have you heard of acetylcholine? I'm sure you've heard of acetylcholine.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So acetylcholine is a nerve a nerve chemical that binds to cells. I don't want to get too technical here, but it binds to the cell receptor and then initiates an action. Myasthenia gravis, the CICs and myasthenia gravis attack that receptor. The not the CICs, but the antibodies that are associated with the autoimmune disease. It's autoimmune. It's attacking the receptor. Now you say, why is it attacking the receptor? That's crazy. Why would your body's immune system, which is fighting bacteria and viruses and all the bad guys, why would it all of a sudden attack the receptor on the muscle?
Because the bad guys planted themselves in the muscle.
Right. But the logic is it's just stupid. It just does it on, I mean, not the logic, the medical perspective is that it just stupidly attacks the receptor. Okay. The body doesn't do anything stupid. It's doing it because of what you just said. There's a distortion of some kind. What does the distortion do to? Well, they're telling you because it's in the blood. So this whole thing is bloodborne.
However, it sounds like their perspective is it's in the blood secondarily to the attack, where you're
No,
saying that the
it's the
precursor to the attack is the
it's the
dirty blood.
cause. It's a marker. It's not secondary. It's a sign.
For them, it's a sign. For you,
It's a
it's a
sign.
cause.
No, it's
You're
not a
saying the
cause.
dirty blood. No, 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 not the CICs.
Yeah, not the CICs. The dirty
The
blood.
dirty blood
The
is the
dirty blood. The
cause.
CIC is a marker of the dirty blood. The
Mhm.
CIC is a marker that the blood is contaminated. The blood now has toxins in it, and the immune system is globbing. Or a circulating immune complex is the bad guy with a bunch of immune cells protecting it, surrounding it,
Mm.
so it can't do any damage. The bad guy can't do any damage. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
the question is the bad guy. The bad guy is what's precipitating the immune attack. So the question is how does the bad guy get into the blood?
Leaky gut.
How else? How else? How else? Okay, you can inject it. That's another way. But for the mass majority of people, that's not what happens. And that's what I'm saying. This is not. Did I say anything complicated here? Do you
No,
have to be a lover of the human body, maybe to see it, maybe to notice it? I don't even know if that. It just seems so logical to me when I see it. And so, but yet you have 100 and plus, I don't even know, keep adding autoimmune diseases, 130 or something, 140. There's 30, 40 million people that have it, autoimmunity. Nobody can stop. There's nothing they can do. They just shut down the immune system. It's the only strategy they have. Suppress immunity with it used to be a steroid, now it's a biologic. And in fairness, if you're not gonna, you're not gonna address the cause, this will take care of the symptom. But the problem is you've just suppressed the immune system. You still have the bad guy pouring into the blood. You haven't solved the problem. You solved the sign of the problem, which, in fairness, if you have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, you might have more movement. And it's hard to argue with that. You follow me? It's hard to argue with somebody who says, "Oh, I had arthritis and now I don't." So fine. So I'm not against it, and I'm not down on drugs by any means. I'm just saying there's a much better way. There's a much better strategy. If somebody wants to take their drugs, then they should. I would never argue that. I'm a pharmacist. I would never argue that. But I will tell you that you're not solving the problem. you're probably making the problem worse, and there's way better alternatives. But somebody wants to say, look, I have rheumatoid, I still want to eat. And this is what the doctors say, by the way. They say, look, we know, not all doctors, but some doctors will say, we know about nutrition, we know about lifestyle, we know about supplements, but patients don't want to do that. So we give them this. And they say that. And that's fine. That's totally legitimate the way I look at it. Our message is not for those people. I'm not here to persuade those people. I'm here to talk to people who are in longevity, mostly, but other people too, but mostly in longevity, who are skeptical, cynical, questioning, right? This is what Dr. Wallach was. Dr. Wallach was like kind of, he started the whole ball rolling here because he was like that.
Is like that.
He is like that. But when he started it, that was his mindset. When he started the company, he was kind of, this isn't right. There's another way. There's a better way. Let's ask questions. This isn't working. And back then when he started, it was the glory days of the pharmacomedical model, the 50s and 60s and 70s.
It's an amazing contrast because Dr. Wallach does not think that people do anything for a nefarious reason. Like if you said to him, people they're pretty bad and evil, and he's just not looking at
I don't think it's like Dr. Evil or something. I don't
I
think it's like that.
absolutely think that this is
No,
occurring because there's just too much. They're too smart not to
I
deal
know, but
with
I
it in
know these
another
people.
fashion.
There's a different kind of smartness. There's different kinds of intelligence. I know those people. I know obviously not everybody, and maybe there are some people like that, but I know a lot of them. I know a lot of doctors. I know a lot of pharmacists. I know a lot of pharmaceutical executives. I know a lot of pharmaceutical scientists, and they believe that they are making the world a better place. They really believe that, and they're taught that, and they're programmed that. What makes us different at Longevity, and all the people who like us and who are listening here, all 10 people or whatever, all 15 people, because it's not a tremendously popular message, because we're going against the mainstream. But we are a tribe and a community of people who aren't buying the bullshit. And not everybody's in longevity who's like that. There's a lot of people who are not buying the bullshit, but longevity has that in common, especially the ones who are really doing it. Don't you think? And they've always been that way. They've always been a little bit questioning, and I think that's a good thing. You want to question the paradigm. And at the end of the day, we're not sick, we're starving. We're missing the basic nutrients. This is a solution. That's not a solution. That's a Band-Aid. That's a patch. This is a solution. That's a distinction. We're solving problems. They're not solving problems. They're hiding problems. They're doctoring problems. They're jury rigging problems with baling wire and bubble gum. We're solving problems with meat and potatoes, so to speak. We're solving the problem. We're reversing the problem. That's a whole different way of doing business, and that's what the human body is capable of, and that's what the human body deserves, all of our human bodies.
Pharmacist Ben, I gotta get to some of these questions.
Let's talk to some live people.
Oh, well, first I'm going to talk about some comments on.
I want to talk to real live human beings.
Okay, well, before you do that,
flesh and blood human beings.
Let's knock out these real live human beings questions which they
quickly.
posted.
I don't want to give preference to the people who email or text.
No, this
I want
is
to give
not
preference.
email. These are all people who are watching right now.
Okay, good. Okay, fair enough.
So BDEC on Rumble, maybe it's a mindset issue talking about the disease of obesity. Maybe it's a mindset issue, the mindset that a person has to eat all the time. Eating is not healthy stuff, a hormone. And then we had a great meeting yesterday at PBA. That's Pharmacist Ben's Academy. Thank you, BDEC at Rumble on Rumble. And some of our YouTube commentary include, hi guys, I just wanted to mention that ChatGPT is a big fan of Pharmacist Ben, Dr. Wallach, and Dr. Ariaza. It really likes his digestive enzyme overall. It also says to mix TMR shake and any powders with acids like citric acid and malic acid, etc., to buffer any negative response.
I can see that. But TMR shake, man, have you had that?
No, I just had a client order it today, though.
Dude, TMR shake, almond milk, banana. Unreal. Unreal, like a dessert. It is so freaking delicious. And I asked did I tell you this? I forgot who I said this to. I asked Stan, I was like, Stan, what did you do to this stuff? How did you make this so good? He wouldn't tell me. So I sussed it out. I did some digging. I'm not gonna tell you though.
You reverse engineer this product?
No, just
Oh
not
man.
literally, but I know I read the chemistry. I read the ingredient deck, so I know kind of what he did.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, it's unreal. Banana, almond milk, TMR shake, chocolate, even vanilla. I'm a chocolate guy, but vanilla is okay too.
Yeah, my clients ordered vanilla. For vegans, vegetarians, for those who prefer plant
Oh,
form
for
of
losing
diet,
weight, hang on. Let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry, AJ. Let me say one way. For losing weight, every time you want to eat, have a little TMR shake, half a banana, and some almond milk. It has probably 150, 200 calories. Incredibly delicious, incredibly filling.
okay,
You could do it all day long.
since you're talking about TMR shake, uh, Coach Rod called me the other day because he couldn't find a Fit Shake. They had gotten rid of all his favorite flavor of the Fit Shake. They only had a banana Fit Shake. Is there
Okay.
something that he could
I
use?
don't know enough about Fit Shake because I love the TMR.
Protein builder.
Yes,
Is
steak.
TMR going to give him an equivalent amount of protein?
Say that again.
Is a
Is TMR
TMR?
going to get? I don't know what the Fit. I'm not familiar with the Fit Shake, so I can't tell you that. But TMR is going to get some good protein, whey protein. There is a plant derived one now, which just came out. I like the whey protein. It is so amazing. And that jug, it's a huge jug for like $80.
Mhm. Will
It's
will TMR help people who are fragile gain some weight? They need to work out.
of course you need to work out,
What
but
about what if they can't really work out because they're bedridden?
everybody can work out.
What
Even the
can you
most
do if you're
obese elderly,
bedridden?
unless they're in a wheelchair and they have ALS or something.
Yeah,
You know,
what can you do if you're compromised in that way?
it depends on your compromise, but everybody can move their body somehow, unless they're quadriplegic or something, in which case that's true. But unless you're quadriplegic, even if you're paraplegic, you can still move part of your body. So you can still do something. Even if you're morbidly obese, even if you're elderly, you can stand up out of a seated position. Are you sitting down? I can't tell. You look like you're sitting, right?
Yes, I'm sitting.
Okay. So do this exercise right now. Okay. So you want to get up in standing position, but instead of just getting up, get up in 15 seconds. Take 15 seconds to stand up or 20 seconds.
Hmm.
Do it right now.
Not showing my belly to the
Do
crowd.
Oh, you don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So the point is that if you just raise yourself out of a seated position super slowly, that's a great exercise right there.
Because
Take
you're
You're holding your muscles. Instead of using momentum, every little tiny muscle fiber is firing. So you're getting stress on every tiny muscle fiber. Usually we use momentum, we throw ourselves up. That's a whole different way of doing it. If you do it very slowly, it's very difficult to do. Any exercise done slowly, curls. If you do curls, like take 20 seconds to do one curl, you're not going to be able to lift like 10 pounds or 15 pounds. Those people who are doing 80 pounds, they're going like this, right? They're using momentum. If they took that 80 pound and went like super slow, they wouldn't do 80 pounds. You ever see people weightlifting? They're
hmm
using momentum, like heavy weight.
hmm
They're still getting some weight. They're still getting stronger, but I'm telling you, they're not maximizing it. If you want to maximize your strength when you do a resistance training, you want to like leverage every tiny little micro movement,
I can
micro contraction.
I can remember doing slow benching. I can remember doing that.
It's
Yep.
a lot harder, right? Super
Yeah.
slow bench presses.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't do the same weight. It's
Well,
dramatically
you
different.
try and do the same weight, but you do less reps for sure.
You do way less than you could do if you're using momentum. Way, it's not even close. That's why people say they can't exercise. Heck yeah, you can exercise. You just do one standing up from a seated position, but take 30 seconds and do it once a day. Against a wall with a ball is also a good one. Slowly going. You ever do this one? Slowly up and down with a ball, just like slowly getting into a squatted position and slowly raising yourself with a ball in the back. So you use it for like a wheel.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of exercise you do. You can go on Amazon for $5 or $10. A band exercises. You put the band on your foot and you do curls. There's tons of exercise you do. Everybody can. Even if you're morbidly obese, elderly, go up one stair. You know what? If you go up one stair every day for a week, then at the end of the week, you'll do 2 stairs. You know what I'm saying? And every day, then you do 3 stairs. Exercise builds, your body builds. Anybody can do it. And the body has a use it or lose it kind of approach. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it, especially as you get older.
For vegans and vegetarians or those who prefer plant form omegas, is it okay to use Udo's blend or flaxseed oil alongside the Mighty 90, or will these fats create too much oxidation in the body? If
I don't know what too much oxidation is, but I can tell you that the nutritional oils like Udo's and flaxseed, if it's kept dark, cold, and fresh, use them fresh, reasonably fresh, as fresh as you can, it'll mitigate oxidation.
I,
Udo's blend, I think, I'm going by memory. Udo likes omega 6s. So there's more omega 6s in Udo's than there are in a lot of other ones. Flaxseed oil, they're all great. For vegans, vegetarians who prefer plant form omegas, they're all great. And
I
by the
don't
way,
like anything in a bottle when you're talking about these sensitive oils. I prefer them
capsule.
in the gel caps that
The
are,
problem with the gel cap is you don't get a
you
lot. The
don't get a
bottle,
lot, but they're made in a nitrogen rich
yeah,
room.
yeah, that's true. They're protected. I agree with that. Yeah, they're protected. And the oils are very unstable. You know, oils are interesting because they're medicinal. Make no mistake about it. Essential fatty acids are medicinal. They're therapeutic. They're have the same, not as potency as a drug, but they're the same angle. They can, for inflammatory issues, the inflammatory system in the body is run by fats, particularly short little chunks of fats. And these essential oils are incredibly valuable. Not essential oils,
Essential
essential
fats.
fatty acids are
Mhm.
incredibly valuable. Incredibly valuable. But that being said, from an evolutionary perspective, we never got those concentrated oils. Oils were dispersed in nature very, very sparingly, especially omega 3s. They're very sparingly found in nature, not a lot of places. And when they're in nature, I shouldn't say they're not found in a lot of places. When they're found in very small quantities, not concentrated bottles of oil or even capsules. You follow what I'm saying? They're in seeds, they're in grains, they're in leafy stuff, algae, but they're not like concentrated in a bottle, you know, like the concentrated essence of the substance. I mean, look at a piece of seaweed, which is a great source of omega 3, right? When you look at the seaweed, do you feel any oil in it? Do you see any omega 3 in it? No, it's dispersed. It's a very tiny amount. Same with seeds. Do you see any oil in the seeds when you look at a flaxseed? You don't see it's all shiny and oily. The coating has a little shine to it, but that's not oil. You don't see the oil. You can't perceive the oil. It's very, very trace. But you eat a lot of seeds, of course. So you're getting it when you do. When you ingest them in foods, you're getting a certain amount, but not like a bottle that's concentrated. You know what I'm saying? So you're already on the edge. Yes, they're therapeutic. Yes, they're valuable. Yes, they're medicinal. But you're already kind of on the edge. You're playing with, a fine line between something that's good for you and something that can be a problem. And indeed, we find that oxidation of these oils is a problem. So they're not found in nature this way. In nature, they're found in conjunction with protecting molecules. Seeds don't go rancid. You ever see seed go rancid? No, it has protecting molecules around it. So, grains sometimes will go rancid if you cut them and the protecting molecules go away. But typically you don't see rancidity in nature. You know where you sometimes see rancidity or smell rancidity? You ready for this? Old people. Like me. I'm old. I can say that.
You're not old, Pharmacist Ben. I'm just gonna just let that sit. And then Dylan's. I've come across references that often say that chia seeds instead of flax. You probably already saw flax
Yes.
highly
Okay. So
contained
chia
over
seeds are great. I'm a fan of
estrogens.
chia. Chia pudding. You get almond milk, coconut milk, raisins, stevia, cinnamon, honey, a bunch of chia seeds. It makes the most delicious pudding. It's filling. It's tasty. It's great for you. I'm a fan of chia. Okay. However, it's different than flax. You eat them both. You, I wouldn't take one or the other. I don't buy the phytoestrogen thing with flax because, flax is a source of phytoestrogens. But here's the thing about natural phytoestrogens that are found in nature. they're weak. So they actually may have a protective effect because they weakly associate with the estrogen receptor. When they say they're called weak estrogens. And these weak estrogens can protect you from strong estrogens. So I'm not totally buying the estrogen thing about flax. But what I am buying about flax is it is one of the most incredibly valuable nutritional sources or nutritional substances, sources of nutrition for magnesium and vitamin E and amino acids and insoluble fiber. And by the way, there's more insoluble fiber in flax than there is in chia. So yes, they're both good sources. I think there's probably more omega-3 though in flax. I don't want to go out on a limb and say that, but I'm pretty sure. You know what the best seed, if you want to pick the best seed for the most perfectly balanced seed is?
My hemp, of course.
Hemp seed. Hemp seed's the bomb, man. So this, I have I'm rented a little facility, formulating facility, manufacturing facility, and they make CBD there in this facility. And so they have these concentrated CBD. They make CBD gummies and THC gummy. They don't make THC actually. They make just CBD stuff. And so they have. What am I talking to your freaking shoulder for here?
Because I'm trying to find my bag of hemp seeds.
Oh, you got it. You carry hemp seeds with you? Oh, you're carrying him with you. Good for you. Good for you. I had a friend who made ice cream with hemp seeds. He called it hemp ice cream.
When you put hemp seeds on top of ice cream,
is it really
fantastic.
Good? So fantastic. Do you have to grind the hemp seeds, or you can eat them whole?
I got the hearts.
Oh, you got the hearts. Yeah.
But I don't eat ice cream anymore. So
you don't eat ice cream. I haven't had ice cream in a while either. It's funny though. Every time I have ice cream, I want ice cream. I can't stop eating ice cream. But if I lay off it, if I don't have it for a while, I'm okay. But if I have some ice cream, I can see how people could eat that whole pint of Ben and Jerry's.
Easy. It was on sale last week, and I just like,
Dude, when I was a young pharmacist come on, we got to answer questions here. I don't want to be talking.
The lecture on heart disease was the most comprehensive thing I've seen validated in what I call my kitchen sink theory.
Who wrote that?
Problem.
Oh, that's nice.
It's not cholesterol, any one thing. It's multi excesses.
Yes, and it's the triangle underneath.
Victor, I love the longevity GLP-1 product has arginine, which is also an amino acid that body converts into nitric oxide, which relaxes and widens blood vessels and helps with blood circulation.
Victor knows his stuff.
Victor went to Stuyvesant. You know Stuyvesant, right?
He went to Stuyvesant. I did not know Victor went to Stuyvesant.
Yeah, Victor.
Victor knows his stuff. I do know Victor's one smart dude. We got some smart people. We got some smart folks.
Yeah,
you got to be smart to like this stuff.
You have a passion for this. This is what I like. For some reason, I find this interesting, even though
insurance law.
It's interesting, right?
It's funny because if I had it to do over again, I'd probably start an insurance company.
No way.
Yeah, I think I would. It's like guaranteed money.
You don't just talking about money. You're just talking about money.
I would start insurance. I could do nutrition on the side, but I would do do that.
Yeah, great lecture. I listened to Ben.
Thank you, Bruce.
Well, another great one. Thank you, Mary.
Bruce.
Cells being electrical is a great topic, and why that makes a difference. How to influence for health. I'm not sure what they were referring to. It's amazing. Maybe the TMR shake.
I'm not sure. Everything is alive and moving on some level. Einstein said matter is condensed energy, and energy is condensed matter is expanded matter.
Reducing carbs, eating 50% plus of my diet as non-starchy veggies and lots of good fats has been a game changer. Thank you, Ben, for all your wisdom and strategies for health.
Yay. Thank you, Dylan.
Victor,
I appreciate that. So I want to get back to Victor. Well, there's Victor. The doctors. You think the heads? Victor thinks it's the corporate heads.
Someone that runs a corporation has a responsibility to only create profit
to the public good. To the public good.
They have no responsibility to the public good. They have
Oh yeah, they
only
know.
one responsibility,
Yeah,
which is to increase profits for the shareholders.
correct.
That
Well,
is
you know,
their.
corporation. Look at the word corporation. Corp. What does corp mean? Body. A corporation is a living entity that's not alive. It gets treated like a living entity. It has all the benefits of a living entity, like a person, but it doesn't bleed. It bleeds green instead of red. It doesn't have children. It doesn't care about its parents or
Could
its
have.
or it doesn't have the same human requirements, but it gets treated like a person. A corporation is an entity, a business entity that's a corpus. It's a body. It gets treated like a body, and so consequently, it gets to play the game with certain advantages that people don't have. AJ, are you a people or are you a corpus? No, you're a people. You're human. So the corporation gets to play with advantages that you don't have. And the bigger the corporation, the bigger the advantages. And that's just the nature of the system. And but there's an answer. There's an answer, there's a solution. The solution is individual responsibility. If individuals will take responsibility for their health, then they won't be a victim of the corporations, the health corporations. Now, there's a certain inevitability. You're going to have to interact with corporations in our world, but for the most important things like our health, you can protect yourself, and that's why we're here. We're here to give people the strategies and the tools that they can use so they don't have to be victims of the corporatocracy. The corporatocracy. We don't have a democracy. We have a corporatocracy where the corporations rule everything, which are fake people. They're zombies essentially, to take over of the zombies. And that's been this idea of the corporation being a person is a Supreme Court decision. This was a famous Supreme Court decision in the 19th century. At the end of the 19th century, had some, I don't know the details, but it had something to do with the railroads. And they decided they went to court and they decided they were people. Corporations are people. And then there was Citizens United. You remember that?
Mhm.
And that said corporations could donate like people, donate to politics. And that's when it all really went to crap. Let's answer health questions though.
How do you know any benefits of chlorine dioxide for intake and also
They're both great. Chlorine dioxide and DMSO, they're both great.
Okay, but make a distinction that
They're
they're not essential nutrients.
they're not essential. They kill things. DMSO is like an anti-inflammatory also. They give DMSO to racehorses to help them run. DMSO is a fabulous anti-inflammatory and non-toxic, completely non-toxic. Chlorine dioxide kills things, and it's non-toxic. They both have their place. DMSO will give you a little sulfur maybe, but no, they're not nutritional. They're
Um,
more
by
they're
the way,
medicinal.
by the
Yeah,
way, I got to, because you mentioned earlier that the CICs are
markers.
markers of. So, for example, if you get a CIC from the pancreas, that is called
Not a CIC from the pancreas, a CIC for the pancreas.
a CIC for the pancreas.
Right.
That
A
is
CIC for
called,
the pancreas, that's called type 1 diabetes.
okay, type 1 period, not it couldn't be any other diabetes. It's strictly going to be
Technically speaking, type 1 diabetes, which sometimes is called juvenile diabetes. I think it's called juvenile diabetes. I got to look that up. But type 1 diabetes versus type 2, okay, is autoimmune based. It's a very fine line between what's autoimmune and what's not, because everything somehow involves the immune system and inflammation. Everything. In fact, that's disease. Inflammation is synonymous with disease. There's synonyms. There's no disease without inflammation. You can I shouldn't say that, because you can have inflammation without a full-blown disease, but you'll have a certain degree of dysfunction. Here's how it happens. This is very cool how it happens. And I want to answer questions, though. I don't like digressing like this.
but I'm so, because you said something, and but you're very clear on the fact that um, a worm is not going to cause diabetes.
A worm,
Some sort of parasite is not going to be the cause, generally speaking, of a
There
diabetes,
are
and there are a
people who
lot
will
of
tell
people who
you that these things
say, right. So
there are people who will say that they're parasitic, that these things are parasitic. I don't believe the reason I don't go there is because parasites are everywhere. The body's filled with parasites all the time. A healthy body's parasites. The word parasite just means something that feeds on you, it doesn't necessarily give you benefit. And there's parasites in your body as part of your natural microbiome. So it's disempowering to say that. I'm trying to empower people. The idea that it's a parasite is an idea, it allows you to abdicate. So even if it is a parasite, the environment that's conducive to the parasite is where you have control. You follow me? You want to focus on where you have control, locus of control. Is it a parasite? I don't know. Do you know? Nobody knows if it's a parasite. It's just a theory, right? Anybody who tells you that's a parasite is talking about a theory. Great. Okay, it's a parasite. Now what? I don't care. I want to help people get better. All right. Now, it turns out if you want to take anti-parasitic medicine and still go to McDonald's and eat your French fries and have a sedentary lifestyle and do whatever you're doing, you ain't going to get better. But if you do everything you're supposed to do and you take an anti-parasitic and you get better, fine. More power to you. But I want to get people better. The parasite thing, it's too easy. It's like virus. It's like blaming it on your genetics or blaming it on a virus. Blaming it on these bad guys that allow you to say, I'm just a victim. Oh, it's the parasites. I just got attacked. So are there parasites, hookworm, tapeworm, malaria? Yeah, I know there's parasites. But the kind of parasites these guys are talking about when you hear about diabetes and parasites, that's never been shown. They've never seen a parasite inside the pancreas and the person has diabetes. It's a theory. And it's a disempowering theory. So I don't go there with the parasite
okay,
thing.
on the screen, what would you recommend to deal with parasites due to tooth rot infections with abscesses, I'm guessing, even in sinus and already extracted?
In other words, parasites that are in the tissue.
I'm gathering.
The parasites are in the tissue, you work on the tissue. You don't work on the parasite. How do you work on the tissue? You healthy bone and joint pack, glucosamine, leaky gut, metabolic syndrome. You do locus of control, where you have control. You don't kill parasites really unless you kill everything. Killing things is not a great strategy. You want to modify the terrain. And this is an ongoing debate, by the way. You and I've talked about this between Claude. It started in the 19th century with Louis Pasteur and Claude Bouchamp, these two biochemists, and there was this famous battle between the two philosophies and theories. One said it's the germ, the other said it's the territory, the terrain. I'm going territory. The germ theory is not. It doesn't hold water for me because there's germs everywhere and not everybody gets sick. If it was really just the germ, everybody would get sick with the germ, but not everybody gets sick. That tells you that there must be something different about people who are getting sick or not getting sick, which is the definition of the terrain. So I'm going terrain. That makes more sense to me. And so when you have infection, extracted 2% of the lab, came back with dangers. Okay, so several dangers. I would like to know about the lab and I'd like to know what the dangerous parasites were. But assuming that's the case, the problem is the tissue. If you have to kill the parasites, bentonite clay. I'm sorry, colloidal silver. I don't think bentonite clay will work, but colloidal silver maybe. I don't know how you kill parasites. They're pretty pernicious.
We have a product called what's the product called, Keely? It's uh I have it. It's para something over there.
What's
Paraclear.
the ingredient? What are the ingredients?
Paraclear.
What are the ingredients?
Of course, it's got the it's got the it's got, let's see, zinc, selenium, copper, the top, and then a proprietary blend, black walnut hull, something bark, which Kesia
Cascara
bark,
bark.
cascara, wormwood,
Okay. All right. Okay. So what they're doing is they're stimulating the
bismuth,
immune. What? Cinnamon?
bismuth, bismuth,
Bismuth. Okay. Okay. So they're stimulating the immune system with zinc and selenium. And what was the other one? Zinc, selenium, and
copper.
zinc, selenium, and copper for the immune system. Zinc and copper go together. Copper's not more for the connective tissue, but Zinc, they're stimulating the immune system, put it that way, and then they're killing things. Black walnut and also wormwood are notorious anti-parasitics, antimicrobials, but they're not
Clove bulb, Paul
clove oil.
Darko.
Yeah, these things are antimicrobial, so they're you know. I don't want to go there. I'm a nutritionist.
Yeah,
We'll leave it at that.
but I like your point of supporting, and maybe you give your body a little bit of a kick by trying to be a little anti-parasitic. But the main point is you got to
Zinc
support.
and selenium, lay off the sugar. Look, the modality of nutrition to me is so powerful and so multifunctional and so functional and useful because most people are deficient. The vast majority of us are deficient. One time people saw them. I don't know what that means, but I heard, what is that person saying?
Said that you said that people selling parasite cleanses is a sham.
Well, that must have been me being a little excitable. Yeah.
Okay,
If
okay.
I actually said that, I don't think I said that. People put words in my mouth. I don't think I ever used the word sham.
You really well.
I
Um,
just don't like going there. I'm a nutritionist. Let's talk nutrition.
my friend Yvonne is asking, and I don't know, I don't quite understand, but maybe you might understand. Can you talk more on the slowing of the prehistoric wave and motion of digestion? Seems to have repercussions. We've had like a few clients come in with gastroparesis.
Okay. So not prehistoric, peristaltic.
She probably it's a
Oh,
type
right,
correct.
right. Autocorrect, right.
Thank you,
But
autocorrect.
that's cute, the prehistoric. Um, you know what I've been watching is these AI renderings of prehistoric times
Really?
on YouTube. They're so cool. Oh
Okay,
my
but
God.
question for you.
Yes.
Question for you. Were those Tyrannosaurus Rexes flying, or were they just short
Okay,
arm?
so let me tell you the latest on Tyrannosaurus Rex because there is you probably know it. I'm sure you know because you're the smartest guy in the world. So, but what I want to talk about, I want to talk about those pterodactyls. Can you imagine how, like, the sky? They were so big. They were like a 747. That's how big they were in the sky. I know. You would not have wanted to been around in prehistoric times. The Cretaceous period.
They would
That
have
was
eaten
the
you first, though. So
now you know that story about these two guys are in the jungle and they see a lion, and one guy starts running and he says, "What do you think you're going to outrun the lion?" He says, "No, I just got to outrun you." So, anyway, peristaltic waves. Yes, the digestive system depends on movement. The more you eat, the slower the movement. There are certain foods that you will eat that will freeze the movement. That's called gastroparesis, and that's when stuff sits in your stomach. Have you ever been overeaten? Like that miserable
never,
feeling of what?
never,
Have you ever had that miserable feeling of overeating?
never.
Okay. Well, I have.
Of course,
I mean,
man.
no, the misery that you ate too much.
I've suffered from
You
eating too
suffered.
much. Yes, I've
Well, that
suffered.
goes away, right?
Hmm.
That goes away
Hmm.
after, like, if you eat. I remember one time that vividly comes to mind is me being a pig at an all-you-can-eat pizza place, and I pigged out like crazy. I remember that. I was probably in my 20s. I just ate so much pizza. I don't even know. I can't even. Probably 2 pies worth, and I was so sick, by stuffed and full. I'll never forget it, and I've never done it again, just because it was how miserable it was. Gastroparesis is like that, except it doesn't go away, and it's miserable. Now, the peristaltic movements are a little bit different, although it's probably involved. This is more about a stomach problem. But the peristaltic movements, that peristalsis is the term for the movement, is controlled by this nerve muscle complex called the migrating motor complex. We talked about this. It's activated by fasting and it's deactivated by eating. And so one of the problems we have in our culture is we eat so much that our digestive tract, the peristaltic movement through the digestive tract, it's slowing down, it's sluggish. Also, because this is neural, it's run by the nervous system, it's one of the first systems, the nervous system is one of the first systems to suffer under conditions of the big three: malnutrition, hypoxia, and toxicity. The neural system is the first system that suffers from this because the nerves are very, very delicate. We talk about a cell. A nerve cell is like a supercell. I mean, not a supercell. It's like a super chip. You know, it's electrical. All cells are electrical, but this one is very nature is. I mean, I shouldn't
Carrying
say that.
signals. Carry
Yeah,
signals.
exactly. Propagation of signals through flux. You know, potassium and calcium and magnesium. These things are all in flux. They're moving back and forth. So once you get this thing disturbed, the system disturbed through toxicity, through hypoxia, and through malnutrition, three things that happen to a cell: starvation, suffocation, toxification. Boom. You're off to, you're off to the disease races. So, yes, that's going to be involved too.
Okay, so could
That's,
could
by the way,
this
let me say this real quick. Peripheral neuropathy is the feeling of the same thing that's happening to the nerves when you have sluggish peristalsis, sluggish migrating motor complex. It's like peripheral neuropathy of the gut. It's the same mechanism. It's the same stuff. That's what I've been saying this whole time. It's the same thing. Everything is the same thing. It's just
could
different parts
this
of the body.
could this toxicity deplete the B1?
Say again?
Could the toxicity deplete your body of the B1?
Toxicity depletes you of everything. This is one of the hidden causes of toxic this is one of the hidden reasons why you have toxicities or adverse reactions to toxicities, why you have side effects and this is the problem. Toxicities stress the nutrition system because your body now has to use nutrients to detoxify. And guess what the most important toxin that we voluntarily ingest every day is that has to be detoxified is? Drugs. Prescription drugs, medication. Nobody ever talks about that.
We don't, right? I got you.
Nobody ever talks about that. You know, you hear side effects, adverse reactions. Yes, that's true. But they're going to cost you vitamin C. They're going to cost you copper. They're going to cost you magnesium. They're going to cost you zinc. They're going to cost you nutrients that are probably going to help you with the disease you took the drug for. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of confusing, but the disease you took the drug for may be exacerbated by the nutritional deficiency being caused by the drug that you're taking
but
for
you
the
said
disease.
certain foods can cause gastroparesis. Is it the
Not
food
certain
or
foods, certain reactions to foods. It's not like
okay.
there's certain gastroparetic foods, but
Okay.
reactions to foods, certain foods. I would, if you have gastroparesis, first of all, stop eating. That's the first thing. Like fast for a day or two. Then when you eat something you love and see what happens. And try not to eat a big complex, 10-part food meal or entree or food. You want to just have bell pepper, can of tuna fish, piece of chicken, And we should be eating that way anyway, by the way. Mono diet, where you eat just one kind of, you don't have complex, you don't make your food an art form. Lions don't make their food art forms. Giraffes don't make their food art forms. Wild animals don't make their food into art. If you make your food into art, you're going to automatically adulterate or compromise the food because it's not art. It's food. Now, does it have an artistic element? Maybe, but if you live for the art of food, you're going to pay the price. If you're going to, that's great if you want to live for the art of food, but it's not, it's functional. Food should be functional, not necessarily an art form. Now, I like art. If I had my choice, I could start my chemistry career over again. I would be a candy chemist or a chocolate chemist. Did I ever tell you that? I would be a chocolate chemist or a candy chemist. You know why?
Why?
Because chocolate and candy are endlessly artistic. You could do so much with candy. Look at all the candy that's in the store. All the different shapes and colors and textures.
Yeah.
And tastes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'd make them candy and then sell them insurance.
No, I know.
Okay.
I just think it's fun. I think chocolate chemistry and candy chemistry is a lot of fun.
Pharmacist Ben, can you see the screen? Can you see this is Digest
The
FX?
screen is all whacked out, but I can see the price of something.
Okay. Do you so you don't see the ingredients?
No.
Uh, the
Scan it over to the left. Pull it over to the left. I see the price, retail. Don't let chronic issues stop. Comfortable digestion. No, I see you're moving something, but I can't. It's the screen is
okay.
all whacked out.
So there's protease, bromelain.
Okay, that's a digestive enzyme.
Okay, and then there's lipase, and then there's amylase, lactase, cellulase, glucoamylase,
Okay, so
and
okay, I see it now. I see it now. Hang on. Okay, so that's an enzyme. What are you trying to show me?
then there's would this help with gastroparesis?
No, I mean it wouldn't hurt, but it's not specifically for gastroparesis. It's an enzyme. It wouldn't hurt. I mean, she's gonna
I
help break down her food in her stomach.
I
Maybe.
find if I stuff myself and I take that Digest FX, it really helps move things out.
Yeah, if you don't have gastroparesis, it might, because what you're doing is you're breaking up the food more effectively. Enzymes, you know, that bears a more in-depth discussion. Enzymes, because they're amazing. I mean, I shouldn't even say they're amazing. That's not the right word. Life is enzymes. Enzymes are life. Wherever there's life, there's enzymes. Wherever there's no life, there's no enzymes. And of course, everything has enzymes, so everything's alive. And as somebody mentioned, in a way, organic material anyway. So enzymes are life. Taking enzymes can give you life force. And there's two kinds of enzymes. There's actually three, but two main kinds: digestion and metabolic. And I don't want to get into it right now because it's a little bit complex, but it's a very important subject. And the way vitamins work, many of the vitamins, not all of them, but many of them, they help enzymes. They're coenzymes. They support enzymes. And the way minerals work, they support enzymes. The reasons minerals are so important for the vast, some of them a little bit, not a lot, get put into tissue. When people think of minerals, they think of tissue, skeleton, bone. That's very little mineral. The mineral in the body, which I always say are elements, even though we call them minerals, are really activators of enzymes. They help enzymes work. That's why they're so vital, is because without them, enzymes don't work. They act like a little battery for enzymes. So Victor says, exactly. That's the intelligence of it, So anyway, enzymes are life. Taking enzymes give you life. Eating enzymes through enzyme-rich foods will give you life. The enzyme-rich foods that we mostly eat are fruits and vegetables, but there's enzymes in other things too. The problem is we cook our eggs, which are enzymes, or cook our dairy, or pasteurize our dairy, which is enzymes. The foods that have enzymes in them that are not fruits and vegetables are usually processed. And so we don't really get enzymes from those. But fruits and vegetables, that's one of their main values of fresh fruits and vegetables. One of the main problems with processed foods is they don't have enzymes. They're not alive. Remember, enzymes are life, right? So when you eat a food that has enzymes in it, you're eating the life force, you're eating life. When you eat a box food, dehydrated food, desiccated, dry food, chips or cereal or stuff like that, bread, cake, all that stuff, you're eating dead food in the sense that it doesn't have enzymes in it.
Would under a microscope would an enzyme move?
No. Enzymes are matchmakers. So an enzyme this is an enzyme, it has two spaces. Here's Marty, the molecules underneath, so I can't get them. But here's molecule A, molecule B. In order for chemistry to happen, molecule A has to hit molecule B. So far, so good?
Yes.
The odds of that happening are very unlikely because there's trillions and quadrillions and gazillions and crazy amounts of molecules. So the odds of two molecules hitting each other are 1 in a zillion. You'd never have chemistry. Enter the enzyme. The enzyme has two spaces. Molecule A sits here, molecule B sits here, and they meet up. It's a matchmaker. It brings them together. You follow me? And then, did that make sense how I explained that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It brings them together. They now can connect and they go off on their merry way, and the enzyme can be used again.
Really?
And eventually, you'll need more. Eventually, probably it wears out. It doesn't work as well, but it could do a lot of work. Enzymes can do a lot of work of matchmaking, and they do it instantaneously at a speed that defies logic. Nobody can figure out how it happens that fast, unless it's electrical and quantum, which that's probably how it is. It's magnetism. Magnetism happens really fast, right? These are magnetic reactions. They happen instantly. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how enzymes work. And the more enzymes you have, the more matchmaking you have, and the more molecules you have, the more married molecules you have.
And the more questions it brings up, because you said that these two objects, these two molecules would not normally meet, but the enzyme for some reason fishes them out and
Fishes them
matches
out.
them together.
Fishes them out.
That's like, okay,
Fishes them out. That's exactly what it does. It fishes them out.
that's crazy. It's pretty nuts. Well, thank you for another episode of the
Yeah.
Church of Pharmacist Ben.
Sure. I
And
love it. I
everyone,
love that.
you will benefit your life by joining us at Pharmacist Ben's Academy. And we still have the discounted price up. We have a good number of people who have joined us for the monthly rate. PharmacistBen'sAcademy.com. It is a school group, and we are
Community. It's a tribe of people. Yeah. I want this to be a community of people who love the body, who don't buy into the hype of the medical model and the dominant paradigm about health is, who are smart. Everybody's smart on pharmacistbens.com or Pharmacist Ben's Academy. So everybody, if you're not smart, don't feel like you can't join. But it turns out that smart people love Pharmacist Ben's Academy. So
Okay.
we have there's a lot of really good questions, a lot of really good input. And by the way, if you're out there and you're in Pharmacist Ben's Academy, you can write stuff too. I'm not the only person that can write. You guys can write stuff too. I'm just a member of the community.
And I just want to let you know, listen, everything's not for sale. You can also get some information here at the triangleofdisease.com. You can go to rootnotfruit.com. You can go to dailywithdocteam.com. These are all places that you can get tons of free information. You can call us for free. We will help you for free. Speaking with one of the certified holistic health coaches at 855-949-3377, or you can call 855-949-3377, or you can email at questions@dailywithdoc.com, or you can have 24-hour potential help at pharmacistbensacademy.com. And NC Golden, this is a testimonial. I'm a member and love it. Haven't been on the last couple of weeks because of several appointments, but they love it. And Cliff, I love it too. Life is a blessing to
Thank you for
share.
that.
Wyoming Annie, Wyoming Annie is on, and we're just gonna end. And I want to inquire about your interaction with this wonderful woman, Dr. Milan, who's having a birthday today.
Happy
Tell
birthday.
me a story about an interaction you had with Dr. Milan.
Yeah, the interaction I have with Dr. Milan. So this is Dr. Milan and Dr. Wallach. I was talking to them both, and I don't remember what I was talking to Dr. Wallach about. I was talking to him about American longevity, actually, and Milan interjected, and pretty forcefully, that Dr. Wallach was wrong. And man, Dr. Wallach, his tail went between his legs, and he was like humbled by Dr. Milan. Because Dr. Wallach is a powerful, forceful guy, right? And man, Dr. Milan, man, she don't play. She's not there to play. She was in the Chinese military.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she's a badass, Dr. Milan. So
Yeah.
happy birthday, Dr. Milan. And she's super smart too, super duper smart.
Is super duper smart, super dedicated. She runs wellness publications and ships out all the books, and runs that whole factory.
Yes,
and,
she does.
Yeah, and
Dr. Milan. I haven't seen her for a while. I used to see her all the time at the conventions. Are you going to that convention in April?
Next year, yeah, and Yvonne's mentioning that the gastroparesis question had more to do with the use of Ozempic, because that is how she was
Ozempic.
tying it in.
Ozempic slows everything down.
She's seeing the gastroparesis coming from people who are taking these GLP-1s.
Yeah, it slows everything down. I could see why that would happen. It also causes intestinal problems.
Yeah.
Same
So
reason. It's a digestive drug. I mean, it affects a lot of systems actually, but it's largely a digestive drug. That's why it's being used, because it's going to affect the digestive system. So I didn't know that about gastroparesis, but it makes perfect sense because yeah, I could see it slowing down gastric emptying.
she's saying that the enzymes don't even work when the people are using the GLP-1s because other causations created a situation there, and there's little or no movement, and the food sits and ferments.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, you keep hearing about the weight loss thing and it sounds like a miracle drug. It's just very hard for me to believe that there's going to be a drug that's like a miracle drug that, you know,
Keely's saying it paralyzes the vagus nerve.
I don't know about the vagus nerve. It could, but I know it slows. One of its mechanisms is to give you a sense of fullness. So if you already have a problem that way, I could see it being a problem, causing a problem.
Pharmacist Ben, I appreciate all your time that you give. I
Thank you.
appreciate everyone who's participating with us on
Yes.
Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, and on X.
Which
I
YouTube chat? What's the YouTube channel? I didn't know. Is it Critical Health News?
YouTube is Critical Health News and Daily with Doc,
Okay. This show is on Critical Health News.
and on Daily with Doc.
Why don't we have a root not fruit page?
Because that would just be another one to make.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
But you love doing it. You love making them.
yeah, I love making them. Don't love maintaining
Okay, gotcha.
them.
All right, that makes
Well,
sense.
but I love all of you folks here and you, Pharmacist Ben. Thank you very much, and we will
Thank you.
see everyone later. But you should really consider going to Pharmacist Ben's Academy because that is the place to be.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.